but I want to change. Talking about transitions, you're just talking about transitions. We've been talking about the 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs for the last couple of days. And, yeah, you go. And I just wanted to bring up the fact that I'm from Sacramento, and does anybody remember the Kansas City Kings? No? Huh? There we go. They're now the Sacramento Kings, and they're on their way to the championship. What I'm going to talk about today is driver records. Are they reliable? What affects reliability? And how can justice community impact that reliability? As citizens within Kansas, within Washington, within California, how many of you have ever had a ticket and never had that ticket show up on your driver license record? Anybody? How many of you have ever had a ticket? There we go. I was going to just say for a second, because as a teenager, I obviously had all of your tickets. Well, I, as a teenager, had a number of tickets not show up on my record, and I thought it was luck. And obviously, it's not luck. It's a problem with the system that we have. Now, with a show of hands, how many of you use the driver record for decision making? Whoa. Sure, everybody does. Does it impact your decision? Does it impact public and highway safety? Yeah, definitely. In what ways? Yes?
Penalties to impose upon.
You're right. Right on.
That's what I was
Same.
going to say.
Well, as a treatment provider, I have to rely on the person telling me how many previous, and oftentimes they're less than honest.
Obviously.
You have a driver record that shows previous impaired driving stops. That's very helpful.
Helps show patterns.
Absolutely.
Driving records sometimes determine what bail is set when the person's arrested.
An address on the courtesy notice, and everybody's trying to find out whether the person is actually the person they claim they are, their height, weight, color of hair, color of eyes, where they live. So as you can see, this record has a tremendous impact on all of us in the justice community. Now what I want to do is take a poll of you and find out. This is simple. If you were going to say how reliable is this record, how reliable would you say? From 0 being not reliable at all to 10 being the most reliable you've ever seen. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, woo, here we go, 9, 10. So we're somewhere between 6 and 8, huh? Right in there? So you could equate that to 60% to 80%. Which means you're saying that based upon all of these judicial decisions and identifications, you're making a 60 to 80% relative decision making. Well, that's kind of scary. Now let's take a look at the general trail of a traffic citation. Law enforcement pull a person over, they run the record, try to positively identify who the person is, they cite them. From there, they send the citation to the court. Court adjudicates the violation, sends the record to DMV to be updated to the to the driver file. What do you see there? Is there something missing in that process?
Checks between various parts to see that the information received by the other parties.
Absolutely. Right here, there is no validation to close this loop. Heck with time these notes. I've never done this before. Let me give you some background on what DMV has done in the state of California. Keep in mind that California has 30 million licensed drivers, and we have seen a decline in DUIs, for 50% decline in DUIs for the last decade. In 1994, our research staff came back to us at DMV and said, we've taken a look at all of the citations that come on our driver license record, and we have found in DUIs that there's 146,000 arrests by law enforcement that have no adjudication on our record. From that, we found that there are 40,000 convictions, 40,000 arrests that failed to actually show up on our record as convictions. So what we did was we went out and we took a look at all the courts and the law enforcement process to find out why. And of those 40,000, about 75% of those were failures to appear and bad records, recording of arrests from law enforcement. And people died and left the country and all sorts of things. But 10,000 of those, 25%, were convictions that didn't make it to the driver file.
Time. Walt, will you stay right here? I want you to pick up your notes.
I hate
Go back to page 1 on your notes.
I hated the note. There was just no room here.
That's 100. That's right. I agree with you. All right. Now, tell you what, I want you to come right over here. Tell you what I want you to do. I want you to start on your first. All right, you had put up a transparency. I don't remember what the first one was, but we'd already seen one transparency. Let me just, I want you, this is the teaching moment for the rest of the audience as much as it is for Walt.
Sure.
Now, this is would have been a great time for you to move over here and look up and talk. Now, one of the things I would suggest you do, are they reliable? Rather than going to the second one and the third one, you should talk about reliability at that point. Elaborate why that's important that we're going to cover.
Okay.
You get to the second one, elaborate. Now, once that was up, you started using your notes. Now, what I would like for you to do, I want you to put this hard copy up under there, and I just want you to walk around and talk from your notes and let the audience see what a difference it makes when somebody's using the notes, walking around with them. Just pick up anywhere along there you want to.
What I'm going to be talking about today is the driver record. Are they reliable? What affects reliability? And how can the justice community positively impact that reliability? Yeah, it feels good. I felt,
You look good too.
I need that cold water is what I need. I've never used one of these, and I felt like I had to be right here at this button, and it really restricted me because I normally stand over here with one of those like lapel mics, and then you can kind of really move around. But this really held me back.
Yeah, that's why I want to emphasize you can take your notes with you. You can walk back over and use that as a transition to come over and turn it back on. That's fine. Pause and use the transition.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to demonstrate that when you move around, you can take notes. You don't have to have your notes over there. You're letting your notes hold you to the podium. That's what I don't want you to do. I want you to go where you want to go and let the notes go with you. That's what I want you to demonstrate because it's much more effective when you do that. Okay?
All right.
Thanks, Walt. Let me have my notepad back. All right, what'd you particularly like? What'd you particularly like?
I like this graphic. That was really simple,
Citation
direct,
trail.
straightforward. It really jumped out at me.
All right, what else?
Handwritten, it's real good.
I like the fact that he made this point about how unreliable the driving records could be. There's a problem that we need to work together to fix. I mean, it was like, oh my goodness, they're that unreliable.
It was interesting, the people that scored that the highest were the decision makers. I think the judges, quite a few people that use that information, and they were all saying, hey, we rely on that a lot.
Good use of statistics. A lot of times they're thrown up, but he got us intrigued in the process and the diagram, and then he started throwing out numbers to validate.
But what he should have done, what I would suggest you do on the site, you should have come over here and written down that 140,000 and written down that 40,000. That would- Not only did you tell it to us, you visually showed it to us, so it had a little bit greater impact.
The DMV doesn't want to put that in print.
All right? Yeah.
I have a question for Walt. You had rather extensive notes and they frustrated you. Did you need that many notes or did you just need some bullets?
No, you're right. Normally, I do exactly like this, and it works really easy. But this time what I tried to do is make the print bigger, because he was using bigger print, so I modified the way I normally do it to something different. And I'm lost. And besides that, I didn't have enough room here. I started moving it over to front of you. I realized I was blocking your vision here, and then I didn't know where to go because I couldn't step back right here, and I was just blown right there on that spot.
Well, you knew your material very well, and I don't know if you had so many notes, it was distracting to you that if you had less, if you could just given us all the information with less and not
I
been
probably could have
distracted.
given you the information without you.
Right.
But see, I'm asking you to do about 5 or 6 things, and that's what forced him into that notes that he.
No, I was just gonna say, I've seen Walt do this similar presentation before, talk about reliability in the audit tracking, and he was not as relaxed and animated that he normally is when he does this presentation, and so it was pretty obvious to me that he was not comfortable.
Yeah.
And so that, and I think
This
reiterating that.
right here is
Yeah.
what,
'Cause there's
this
a-
was my whole frustration.
A big difference when you walked over there
With your
Yes.
notes.
with your note. I
Your
mean,
whole
just
body
total,
language.
yeah,
Really?
totally.
Yeah.
You were relaxed.
Really relaxed over there.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Your shoulders even.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does body language speak or what?
I guess so.
All right, next time out, what would you suggest?
Get comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, really make
And
sure
walk
your
us-
working environment.
That's why I asked for a 5-foot table.
Take the
I
keys
know
out of
that.
your
I
pocket,
don't like box
or
stand.
coins, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He only did it a couple times, and I don't know if you caught yourself or what.
Twice. you did.
Yeah.
Gillis, what's
Said a
the
couple.
Any comment?
I think that was gonna be my
My
comment.
change?
The old change in the pocket there.
Yeah. I have a tendency when I have contact.
Empty it
Yes.
first. You put it back.
Same thing.
Oh, no, it's-
Gentlemen, I talked about you ladies don't use a lot of jewelry when you're up here because if you're writing, you can get distracted. Men also take the pens out of your pocket, anything out of your pocket.
And coins out of your pockets,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keys.
Yeah. All right. Anything else next time out? All right, let's break for lunch and start making.
That was good.